back, I just want to bring you in here on what I'm doing with the kiln. I've just put this shelf in, but I'll take it out. Because I just wanted to show you the configuration that we've got going on down here. Let me just take this camera off the tripod. So, because I get lots of people asking me, oh, how does it all look? I don't know how actually I arrived at this configuration. It was, I think, just chance as much as anything. But I mean, I suppose there was a little logic to it. I tried to work it out. Okay, I'll try and explain what we have here. So there is this. You can see the bricks on their sides. These are just bricks I happen to have. They're not even straight, as you can see. They're a little bit. In fact, some of these are like tapered bricks. Probably that went in an arch of a kiln, but it's all I had. So we're potters, aren't we? We're improvisers. So we improvise. So this is what I used before, so I'm going to carry on using it because it worked quite well. And I actually, when I took this kiln apart and brought it over here from Etna Furnace, as I was dismantling it, I did take photographs of it, and I've referred to those photographs in putting it back together, and so it's exactly the same as it was. So let me just move this. Let's move that guy over there. Oop, over there a moment, so we can see. Just move the camera around here. So I'm looking now down to where the burner ports are on either side of this chimney flue here. There's one down there and there's the other one there, and as you can see here on the outside of the kiln, I've got a rather decrepit now because it's been banged about rather, but this is like a little cowl, you see, where the burner goes in, and the other one over there, complete with cobwebs. In case you ask, what is this here? This is where I had a cutout, and I used to have an external chimney built on the outside of the kiln here, which was not a good idea, and that's why I came. Well, it's not an original idea of mine, actually. The idea of putting the chimney actually here. On the inside of the kiln, we build the chimney on the inside face, just there. So other things to note are I've got some target bricks there. Down here, you see you have to think of, when you think of a kiln like this, you have to think of the, well, what I call the flame aerodynamics of the kiln. So the flames come in on either side here, you see, along here, and they hit these target bricks, and the flames are thrust upwards. Alright, so having shown you that, I'm just going to put this back on the tripod. Before I make you dizzy with my explanations and so on. So let's take that shelf. I was given a shelf by somebody, and let's see, yes, I I don't know if you noticed, but this shelf has had the corners cut off. I cut the corners off the shelf to get it in the kiln. So this now is going to go in here. You see, like that. Yeah, you will notice that shelf is actually cracked. It has a crack in it there. I think you can see it, but we're not going to worry about that. Actually, want to move the camera slightly over here like that. That's it. So looking at that now, the chimney, you see, is built up here on this. So, and I build a chimney. Where are those bricks? Oh, they're over here. I get these bricks from. I got these bricks from Ace Hardware, actually. They're these ones. These ones are stuck together, but they basically go there like that, and so they come up and up and up here. You see, as I add the layers, and I enclose here this chimney, and basically the principle of how the kiln works is the weed burners are pointed inwards here and here on either side. The flames are then thrust upwards up to the top of the kiln where they can't escape. They're then thrust down again, hence the name downdraft kiln. They're thrust down again through the ware, through the pots, and they come into this area here, and they go down here between these bricks. And then they go from there, they go underneath the shelf here, which then you see connects up here with a chimney, and then they go out. So the kiln has got quite a long, what I would call a long flame path. You could even measure the distances that the flames have to travel before they actually leave the kiln. So I think this is a good system because it means that the fuel, before it's burnt, can give off the maximum amount of its calorific value into the kiln space before finally leaving. That's how I see it anyway, and I call all this flame aerodynamics, how it all works, you see. And so what I'm going to do now is add, probably the next thing is to add another ring here, and then we're going to start, and maybe I will add actually all the rings. In fact, with this rebuild of this kiln, I'm actually thinking of adding an extra ring. So instead of just being the 3 rings that I originally had, that the kiln originally was, I'm going to, because this is actually 2 scut kilns here, you see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another ring. That's going to make it just a little bit taller. See what happens. I don't know how well the kiln will fire like that, because it'll be a little bit longer than its height will be a little higher than it is wide. It might work okay. So anyway, I've got some of this stuff here which is drying rapidly. I'm going to use a bit of this stuff down there in the corner, and I'm also going to, on this rebuild, where the kiln elements used to be, you see here. Well, anyway, in this area here and here, I'm going to fill up these slots where the elements used to be, to make this smoother here, because you see what happens is when you've got these burners blasting in here under this side of the shelf here, under here, I don't want the flame, you know, I don't want the flame to linger too long just here. I want it to quickly and smoothly come up, you see. So because of all these channels that are cut here in the brickwork, that's going to create a lot of turbulence just here. And that extra turbulence means that this gets very hot here in this area. So you need to think about that, like where there's a lot of turbulence, especially if you've got like a forced flame burning in, and if it's a lot of turbulence there, and it's not like very aerodynamic, not very flame aerodynamic, and there's a lot of slots like we got here, that's going to cause a lot of excess heat to build up just here in this particular corner, which will result in pots that are here getting overfired. I don't want that, so I'm going to fill in some of these slots with some of that cement. Okay folks, that's all for now. I'll try to keep these videos not too long. Thanks for joining us, and goodbye. Goodbye and good luck. And don't forget, keep practicing. I'll see you soon.